The slides are visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let us start the EEG today. Okay, so EEG, then if you go for the abbreviation of this, the EEG stands for electroencephalogram. Okay, so let me take the pen. Okay, so the EEG stands for electroencephalogram. Okay, that's why EENG. Okay, so what is an EEG, right? So as we know that each and every organ in our body is formed because of some cells, right? So similarly, if you come on to the brain, so your brain is going to have many number of neurons, right? So your brain is going to have many number of neurons, and as you know that the neurons are capable of carrying electric potential through them, right? So if you take any single neuron, the single neuron is going to transmit some electric potential, right? It may be from one part of brain to other part, or it may be from brain to other organ. So that means the neuron is going to transmit the data in the form of electric potential, right? So if you are going to, okay, if you are going to um, take all the rhythmic potentials which are all originating in an individual neurons, like let us consider the brain. So the brain is going to have number of neurons, right? If you are and each and every neuron is going to produce some electric potential, right? So if you are going to take all the electric potentials of different neurons at a time, so then that particular rhythmic electric potential generated by all the individual neurons together is known as your EEG day. Okay, so you can see at the bottom here. So you can see here, this is the typical EEG signal waveform. Okay, that means this is not the waveform that is you can consider it as a standard. No, it is not the standard waveform. It will vary from subject to subject, or sometimes it may vary from condition, like what you are going to think and how you are acting. So it will depend upon various factors. Okay, so the EEG may depend upon the various factors, but the EEG may look like this. Okay, it may look like this. You may have some spikes, some non-spikes. So you are going to have this type of spikes, spiky signals there. Okay, so this is nothing but the electric potential, right? We are going to place electrode on the scalp or directly on the brain, and then we are going to take the electric potentials. Okay, and these electric potentials not from a single neuron. Okay, these electric potentials are captured by using millions of cells. Okay, that means millions of neurons present in your brain are going to discharge synchronously. Then you are going to get these type of electrons in your brain. Okay, so I think one minute. So I think you have understood what is the EEG, right? So the EEG is nothing but an electric potential. Okay, and that electric potential has been originated because of millions of neurons which are present in your brain are discharging synchronously, and you are going to capture those synchronously discharged electric potential from different neurons by using the electrodes. It may be a surface electrodes, or it may be a needle electrodes. Then that potential which you are going to record or capture using the electrodes, that electric potential is known as your EEG here. Okay, so EEG समझ में आया आपको? बोलिए हाँ या ना, so that
Yes,
मुझे
sir.
भी समझ में आए.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
Okay. Then normally the EEG. Okay, so if you want to capture the EEG from the brain, so you can capture the EEG from the scalp. Okay, like you can capture it from the scalp, or you can directly take it from the cerebral cortex. That means you can directly insert some electrodes, like needle electrodes, into the brain, and you can capture from there. Okay, what makes the difference? If what makes the difference? Like if you are capturing the EEG from the scalp, or if you're capturing the EEG from the cerebral cortex. So what makes the difference? Okay, so as you can see here, this is our electrical waveform, right? So this is our electrical waveform. So you can see here, this is going to have some amplitude, right? So x-axis will be your time period, and y-axis will be your amplitude, right? That means how much voltage, right? So if you are going to measure the EEG, or if you are going to pick the EEG signals from the scalp, so normally it will be in a range of 100 microvolts or less. Okay, so the amplitude of this waveform, you can see here this waveform. If you are capturing or picking these waveforms from the scalp, so the maximum amplitude may be 100 microvolts, or it may be less than 100 microvolts. Okay, so and if you are exposed your brain, like you had cut your scalp and then you had exposed your brain and then you had placed electrodes exactly on the cerebral cortex. Then the amplitude that you are going to get from there will be 1 millivolt there. Okay, so the amplitude will be 1 millivolt there. Okay, so remember one thing, sometimes when you are going to capture the EEG, sometimes the magnitude may play the importance and sometimes you may have to consider the frequency. Okay, and majorly in diagnostics applications, the frequency may be one of the important factor. Okay, though the amplitude is also considered, but apart from the amplitude, you have to consider the frequency of this EEG waveform. Okay, so normally, okay, that means the wave like this, you are getting a wave like this, so this wave is going to have some frequency. Okay, so normally the EEG wave, whatever you are going to capture the EEG wave, so normally that particular EEG wave is going to vary between a frequency of 0.5 Hz to 50 Hz. You can see here as written in the slide. So the EEG is going to vary between a frequency range of 0.5 to 50 Hz. Okay, so you can clearly see here, if you are getting a wave from between this range, then you can consider it as an EEG signal. Apart from this, if you are getting a signal which is less than this frequency, or if you are getting a signal which is greater than this particular frequency, then those frequencies may be considered as your losses. Okay, so below this may be considered as your low noise signals, and above this will be considered as a high order noise signal. Okay, so just remember that if you are getting the EEG waveform, and that particular EEG waveform is having a frequency range between 0.5 Hz to 50 Hz. Okay, you can see here. If that particular EEG waveform is going to have a frequency range between 0.5 to 50 Hz. Okay, so that EEG waveform may be called as a normal EEG frequency. Apart from that, whatever frequency you are going to get, or whatever the frequency your electrode is going to capture, that may be considered as your error or noise signal. Okay, so remember one thing, if you are having a complete scalp, okay, so at different parts of your scalp, or you can consider as a different parts of your brain, the EEG signal may be different. Okay, it may be some wave at your frontal lobe, it may be some wave at the parietal, occipital, so there are different 5 different parts in the brain, right? So where you are going to measure the EEG signal, so the waveform will be different, the frequency may be different. Okay, but the frequency will lie between 0.5 Hz to 50 Hz here. Okay, so how the amplitude, like this is your frequency EEG waveform, right? So how the uh, 1 minute, just 1 minute. Okay, so 1 minute, check. So am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now am I audible? अगर नहीं सुना जाए तो बता दीजिए, तो आप लोग बोलेंगे तो है नहीं।
नहीं सर, सुनाई दे रहा है, ठीक है।
ठीक
सुनाई दे रहा है सर।
Okay. So where we are, yes, we are here. Okay, so depending upon the part of the brain, from which part of the brain you are capturing the EEG signal. Okay, it may be a frontal lobe, it may be parietal, or which part of your brain you are going to capture the signal. Depending upon that, your EEG wave may be different. Okay, so the two important things that you need to consider while acquiring the EEG signal is, the first one will be amplitude. Okay, right, and the second one will be frequency. Okay, both the amplitude and frequency plays an important role, and that too in your diagnostic value. Okay, if you are going to a doctor taking your EEG report, so doctor will go through the amplitude and frequency of that EEG signal, and he may decide that is there any problem with you or not. Okay, so this is the complete introduction part. So what is an EEG signal? So the EEG signal may be called as an electric potential which is discharged by a group of neurons which are discharging synchronously at a time. Okay, so coming on to the EEG, so that you can capture the EEG from the scalp or directly from the cerebral cortex. Okay, so if you are going to for the peak to peak amplitude, if you are capturing the EEG signal from the scalp, you may get the peak to peak frequency as 100 microvolts or less, or if you are capturing from the brain, it may be 1 millivolt. Okay, so what makes the difference? If you are capturing on the scalp and the brain, it may be amplitude difference. Okay, and then what is the normal range of the frequency? So if a normal easy wave, the frequency will lie between 0.5 Hz to 50 Hz. Apart from this, whatever the frequency you are going to get, you may consider it as a noise signal. Okay, and the other thing that you have to remember in the EEG is depending upon which part of the brain you are capturing the EEG signal. So depending upon that, the EEG signal may have different amplitude and different frequency. Okay, but the frequency will lie in between this range only. Okay, and next, what the important parameters that we need to observe in the EEG wave is you need to observe the amplitude and frequency. Okay, both the amplitude and frequency will be a diagnostic value. Okay, and then coming on to the next part. Okay, so as I had said that we can differentiate the EEG signal, that means the normal range of the EEG signal will be from 0.5 Hz to 50 Hz, right? So the normal range will be zero point 0.5 Hz to 50 Hz. Okay, so this particular frequency range has been divided into three different bands. Okay, so the first band will be delta band. Okay, so what is the range of the delta band? So the delta band used to vary between the frequency range of zero point 0.5 to 4 Hz. Okay, so in this zero point 0.5 to 50 Hz, zero point 0.5 to 4 Hz will be called as your delta range, and then 4 to 8 Hz will be called as your theta range, and then 8 to 13 Hz will be called as your alpha range, and then 13 to 22 Hz will be called as your beta range, and above 22, as it is 30, it may consider as a 50. Okay, if you are getting a EEG above 22 and 15, it may be considered as your gamma band. Okay, so this particular zero point 0.5 to 50 Hz has been divided into these 5 different bands. Okay, so one band will be delta, which is having a range of 0.5 to 4 Hz. If you are getting a frequency range between that, it will be classified as a delta. And then if you are getting a frequency range between 4 to 8 Hz, then it will be classified as a beta. And then if you are going to get a frequency range between 8 to 13 Hz, it may be classified as an alpha. And if you are getting a frequency range between 13 to 22 Hz, it may be considered as a beta. And then if you are getting a frequency range between 22 to 50 Hz, then it will be considered as your gamma. Okay, so these are the different frequency bands. Okay, the complete EEG wave can be divided into these 5 different bands. Okay, so depending upon what the doctor needs to observe, like let us consider one example like alpha. Okay, so uh, if you are suddenly given a flash in your eye, and then flash has been removed from your eye, and if there is any variation in this alpha range. Okay, so initially it is 8, and when I given the flash it has increased to 13, and again when I remove the flash it comes to 8, like this. If there is any variation, okay, that means you are going to take complete raw EEG wave, right? And this raw EEG wave will be different, classified into 5 different bands. Okay, if you consider these 5 different bands, and when I flash a light into your eye, okay, at that time, when compared to all the remaining 4, if there is more variation in the alpha, then it will clearly represent that your brain is alert. Okay, if I flashed a light into your eye, but there is no variation in the alpha before flashing and after flashing, alpha is same, there is no variation in alpha, then it will represent that your brain is not alert. That means your brain may have some problem. Okay, see, normally the alpha will be observed when anesthesia is given in an operation room. Okay, so whenever the patient is given anesthesia, when doctor is operating him, so the doctor sometimes uses to observe the alpha range. Okay, because of anesthesia, sometimes the brain may go into dead state. Okay, so to consider that, when doctor has given the anesthesia to a patient in the operation room, he will observe the alpha range there. Okay, so यहाँ तो समझ में आया ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So apart from the frequency content, okay, like depending upon like alpha range, beta range, gamma, each and every is going to give some content there. Okay. Apart from that, the phase relation between like we had the complete. Don't think that whenever we are going to do the EEG, we are going to place the electrode at a particular part of the brain. Okay, no. If you are going to place the EEG electrodes, you are going to cover complete scalp. That means complete head will be covered with an 21 to 23 electrodes, and that will be in 10-20 fashion. I will explain you later when we are going to learn the next slides. Okay, so but when you are going to get the RAI frame, the software that you are going to use, it will take the RAI frame and it will make a map. Okay, it will make a map of different brain parts and different waveform and different brain parts. And sometimes what happens means the doctor may observe the EEG wave, the phase relation between the EEG waves at two different parts of the brain. This may also be one of the important parameters which will give some knowledge about the EEG. Okay, I am not able to explain that if this wave will come, this will be, that means you are thinking this. If this wave will come, that means you are thinking this. No, we can't classify EEG wave like that because it is a very complex wave, because you are going to get a frequency band 15.5 to 50 hertz, and you cannot easily classify that I am thinking this will my EEG wave will be this. No, it will not like that. Okay, it may also vary person to person. Still research is going on in that aspect. Okay, so just sometimes it may be needed that we have to correlate the phase relation between two different parts of your EEG wave. Okay, and then the other important recording will be evoked potentials. Okay, that means like I said in the alpha. Okay, that is called an evoked potential. Like you can see some people may be in coma, right? And but doctors will say that his brain is still working. Okay, he used to observe it by using some electric evoked potentials. Okay, evoked response. Like he will open his eye and he used to flash the light in his eyes. Then if there is a variation in his EEG waveform, then it will clearly represent that though he is in coma, but his brain is still working. Okay, so this is evoked response, and majority of situations, evoked response will be one of the important measurement there. Okay, so normally how the evoked response will be given by giving some external stimuli, and majorly the external stimuli will be a light or some click sound. Okay, they use it to do some sound at your ear, or they use it to flash some light in your eye. So and then they use it to observe the EEG wave, and like that they are going to observe the output potentials there. Okay, so this is about the EEG basics. Okay, have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
ज़्यादा समझ में आ गया ना सारा EEG. This is complete the introduction part of your EEG. Okay, so just एक बार फिर से summarize कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि अगर ये समझ में आ जाएगा, next we have to study the block diagram there. Okay, so it will be very easy. Okay, so what is the EEG represent electroencephalogram? Okay, sometimes they use it to call it as a graph or gram. Don't get confused, everything will be same. Okay, so how the EEG is getting, you know that brain is having millions of neurons, and all these neurons is going to discharge some electric wave, and if you are going to capture all the discharge of synchronously discharge electrical waves in the brain at a time, it is called as EEG, right? And this is the EEG waveform, and then it may be capture the EEG waveforms from the scalp or from the brain, cerebral cortex directly. And the frequency range will be as given here, 0.5 to 50 Hz. If you are taking the EEG from the scalp, the amplitude will be 1000 microvolts or less. And if you are taking directly from the cerebral cortex, it may be about 1 millivolt. Okay. And then different parts of the scalp having different, okay. And then if you are going to classify the EEG, that means the 0.5 to 50 Hz band. So the first band will be delta, which is going to have a range of this. Next band will be theta, which is going to have a range of this, that means 4 to 8. And then alpha, which is going to have a range of 8 to 13. And then beta, which is going to have a range of 13 to 22. And then gamma, which is going to have a range about 22 and below 50. Okay. And then what are the important parameters that we need to observe in the EEG is the first one is the phase relation. That means you are having two different parts of the brain and you are taking the EEG signal at two different parts and you are going to observe the phase relation between the two different parts. So that will be one of the important factors that you need to observe while we are calculating the EEG waveform. And then the other thing is evoked response. What we do in the evoked response, we use it to give some external stimuli. Like we may flash a light in the eye or we may have some clicks on that ear and we use it to observe how the EEG wave is going to vary there. If there is variation, then we can consider that his brain is still working. Okay, so this is, and then this is the complete part of the EEG. Okay, so let us move into the block diagram. Okay, so I will explain some part today because सब कुछ एक ही दिन बताऊंगा तो आप लोग भी ज़्यादा घुसा नहीं पाओगे ठीक है. So let us see the block diagram. Okay, so this is, you can see on the screen, this is the block diagram of EEG, electroencephalograph. You can see a written graph again, or you may call it as a gram also. Okay, so so this is the block diagram. Okay, so this is one subject on which I'm going to do the EEG, and then I am having a jackpot and some electrodes has been placed on his head. Okay, how many number of electrodes, I will explain you. Okay, when I'm going to explain you the electrode or Monte system, and then you are having electrode Monte selector, and then you are having some amplifiers, some filters, and some sense. Okay, and then you are going to have analog to digital converter and the writing unit. Okay, if you are going to plot a graph on a paper, then this writing unit is going to work. If you are going to store the data in a digital form, then this part, the analog to digital converter is going to do that part. Okay, this will be for analog plotting, analog plotting, and this will be for digital storing and displaying on a screen. Okay, so this is the complete block diagram. I will erase it so that you can see it again. Okay, so let us first know what is Montes and what is electro Montes cell. Okay, let us learn these two things today, and we will learn the remaining part in the next day. Okay, so what is the Montes selector here? Okay, so let Montes. Okay, like montage here nothing but the electrodes. Okay, you can call the electrodes on the head and in the channels that are connected to each is called as a montage. Okay, the electrode pattern, how the electrodes has been there and how the channels classification. Okay, remember one thing, you may have bipolar, you may have horizontal bilingual 16 channel, 32 channel, 64 channel like this. Okay, if you are going to do the EEG experiment in your second next semester, I don't know next semester is going to online or offline. Okay, if you are going to do the next semester offline, then you may do the lab. Okay, so how we are going to do this? Okay, so normally what happens whenever you are going to do the EEG, so the first thing you need to choose is how many channels you are going to do, whether 12, whether 16, whether 32 or whether 64. What is the channel? You have to select the channel, right? And the channels are selected depending upon the electrodes, how the electrodes are going to interconnected between them. Okay, so what happens means you can see here, this is a subject head. Okay, on this head we are going to place a cap. Okay, which is called as an EEG cap. Okay, and that cap which we are going to place on the scalp is going to have 21 electrodes. Okay, so that cap is going to have 21 electrodes. The middle electrodes will be represented as PZ, CZ like that. Z will be center and P will be parietal, F will be central, occipital, OZ like that. That means the middle electrodes. If the middle electrode is if you are going to consider the front part of the middle electrode, that will be named as FZ. Okay, that means this electrode is in frontal lobe and that too it is in center of the brain. Not neither it is not left or not right, exactly center of the head. Okay, and then OZ. Okay, occipital Z. That means it is at the backside of a backside part because whenever you're going to consider the brain, you may have. Let me show you the parts of the brain. हर बार मैं आपको parietal occipital बोलते रहूँगा, आप लोगों को समझ में तो आएगा नहीं. Let me take the brain construction. Just wait for 1 minute. Okay. कैसी इमेज पकड़ के लाऊं. Just wait a minute, okay. इसको कहाँ रखती है? Okay. I think you can see here, right? So दिख रहा है आपको ब्रेन लेफ्ट साइड में? Are you able to see the brain here, the left side?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, whenever you're going to place the electrodes on your scalp, okay, that try to remember the numbering of the electrodes. Okay. So how the numbering will be there. Okay. So like let us consider the center one. Okay, you are going to have the 21 electrodes on the brain. Okay, let me take the pen. Okay, on the complete head you are going to have 21 electrodes. Okay, and these electrodes will be in 10-20 fashion. Okay, how it will be 10 by 20. What is 10 by 20? I will explain. Okay, so before explaining that, try to know what are the different parts of the brain. Okay, so if you are going to take the complete brain, the brain is going to have completely 21 electrodes. Whenever you are going to place some cap on your head, that cap is going to have 21 electrodes. Okay, so among these 21 electrodes, let us first start with the middle one. Okay, let us first start with the middle one. So the middle one will be having the second letter as Z. Okay, and the first letter will depend upon the which part of the brain the electrode is there. Okay, if it is in the frontal part of the brain, okay, this means it is at the middle line and the two at the frontal part of the brain. Okay, then it will be named as FZ. That means it is exactly on the middle line and the two at the frontal part of the brain. That means this is the prefrontal part of your brain. This part is known as your parietal lobe. This part is known as your occipital, and this part is known as your temporal. There is no need to remember these two like brainstem and cerebellum because these two are not going to be covered by your EEG cap. Okay, the EEG cap is going to cover only these parts: frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal. Okay, so I think temporal will be very less covered. Majorly frontal, occipital, and parietal will be covered. Okay. Mm, and it is clearly given here like some of the researchers given something like try to remember this, it may help you in the next research. Okay, like if you are having the frontal lobe, like if you are seeing the frontal lobe, so according to some research it is not final. Okay, so the frontal lobe may have the electrical act, may have the activities like problem solving, like emotionals, like reasoning or judgment, like speaking, like voluntary motor activities. So these will be performed by the frontal lobe of your brain. This is just according to research, but it is not still approved. Okay. Normally, most researchers use to say that the frontal part of your brain may be involved in activities like problem solving and then emotional traits and then like reasoning or giving judgments and then like speaking. Everything will be done by your frontal lobe of your brain. Okay. And then coming on to the parietal lobe. So the parietal lobe of your brain used to know the knowing right from left, like sensations or like reading or like body orientation. Okay, so all these things will be controlled by your parietal lobe of your brain. Okay, and then coming on to the occipital lobe. So if you are going to take the occipital lobe, so it may be associated with like vision and the color prescription. If the occipital lobe is problem, then you are not going to have the proper vision, or you may have the color blindness, which we most of the time some you people also don't know, but many of us used to have the color blindness. Like many of the people used to unable to differentiate the color between them, like between two different, like if you are going into the military engineering services or if you are going into Indian Railways for loco pilot exams like that. So there the people used to check the color blindness of the person, because many persons used to have some problem in their occipital lobe and they used to have some color blindness. They may not easily, if you are having background as blue and you are having a red color number 2 or number 3 which is completely red, they may not able to differentiate colors. So that will be called as a color blindness, and that will happen because of some problem in your occipital lobe. Okay, and then coming on to the temporal lobe. So the temporal lobe used to do like language understanding, like behavior, like memory, like hearing, all will be controlled by your temporal lobe. So these are the different functions of your brain. Okay, it is not approved, it is still up in the as per the research. Okay, so now let us come into a topic. Like if you are having any electrode, we are having complete 21 electrodes, right? If we are having any electrode on the center line and that too on the frontal part, it will be named numbered as FZ. And let us consider other electrode is there here. That too it is in central line, but it is in parietal lobe part. Then it will be named as PZ. Okay, and there is another electrode which is placed here. It is on the center line, but it is on the occipital lobe. Then it will be named as OZ. Okay, so all the center electrodes, all the electrodes which are at the center, they will have the second suffix as Z, and the first one will represent which part of the brain it is present, like PZ, OZ, or CZ. Okay, and then coming on to the left side, because center is going to have only 4 to 5 electrodes and remaining 16 electrodes will be divided into left and right parts. Okay, all the left side electrodes, okay, all the left side electrodes are going to be numbered as odd numbers. Like all the left side electrodes will be numbered as 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, like that. Okay, and all the right side electrodes, okay, which are at the right side of your center line, they will be numbered evenly, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Okay, they will be numbered like this. That means these electrodes will be numbered as odd, and the electrode that is present at the right side will be numbered as even. Okay, so how they are numbered? Again, the same thing will happen. Okay, like if there is electrode on the right side and the 2 here, it will be numbered as F2, not F1, because it is on right side and the 2 in the frontal lobe, then it will be numbered as F2, not F1. Okay, and if there is electrode here and then it is odd, then it will be named as F1, because it is in frontal lobe but it is in left side of the brain, then it will be numbered as F1. Okay, if there is any electrode here, then it will be right side, not your left. Don't think it is my left side, think in the human perspective, then it will be on right side, right? If there is electrode here, it will be on the right side, and the 2 in the central lobe, then it will be, sorry, the 2 in the parietal lobe, then it will be named as P2. Okay, here it will be named as P1. So like that, electrodes inside there on the left, then it will be 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, like that. If there is in central lobe, then it will be 1, 3, like that. Like one is here, it will be F1, other one is here. If there is another electrode in the frontal lobe on the left side, it will be F3. One electrode is here, F2, and there is other electrode, the 2 in the frontal lobe on the right side, it will be F4, not F3. Okay, तो समझ में आया कैसे नंबरिंग होता है? समझ में आया?
जी सर आया.
Okay, so all the left side electrodes will be numbered as 1, 3, 5, 7. Like if the left side frontal lobe is having 2 electrodes, one will be F1, one will be F3. If the right side electrode, 2 electrodes will be present in the frontal lobe, then it will be named as F2 and F4. If the right side parietal lobe is going to have 2 electrodes, okay, then it will be named as P2 and P4, and if the left side of the having 2 electrodes, it will be named as P1 and P3. So like that it is going to be numbered, and it will, like that all the 21 electrodes will be numbered depending upon the position and depending upon the part, in which lobe it is present. Okay, so in this way the electrodes will be there. Okay, this will be for your knowledge. Okay, try to remember this may be asked in further vivas. Okay, and then I had said that all the 21 electrodes will be arranged in 10 by 20 fashion, or it may be also called as 1020 system. Okay, so what is this 1020 system? Okay, so why it is named as 1020 system? The reason why it is named as 1020 system is like you are having 21 electrodes, right? So all the 21 electrodes are going to have the distance, right? It is not like that randomly you are going to place the electrode, right? You are going to have some distance between each and every electrode, right? So the distance will be as 10% and 20%. Okay, that means if you are they are going to consider your complete brain circumference, that means brain length, and then it will be divided into 10% or 20%. Okay, that means if this is my complete brain, one electrode is here, so at 10% distance another electrode is there, and here at 20% distance another electrode, again at 10% distance another electrode, again at 20% distance there will be another electrode, 10% distance, 20% distance, like that. That means the distance of the brain will be divided into 10% part or 20% part, and then the electrodes are being placed. Okay, that's why this system is called as a 1020 system, because the complete brain has been divided into 10% or each for 10% and each 20%, and then the electrodes are placed like that. That means the distance between the electrons will be in 10% or 20% fashion. Okay, आता समझ में आया? समझ में आया यहाँ तक?
आया सर आया.
Okay. So here that's why I clearly written here 10% and 20% of media and coronal sagittal circumference arc of your cranium. That means the brain. Okay. And then I had set the 21 electrodes, and there may be some different electrodes, right? So normally the different electrodes will be taken as your non-active sites. Okay, the non-active sites of a head will be either the forehead or the earlobe. Okay, that means the forehead or the earlobe or the forehead will be taken as your reference part, because there you are not going to have any active part of your brain. There will be no any active part, so there are the inactive parts of your head. That means either you can take as your ear as your reference, or you may take as your forehead as a reference. Okay, so this is about the montage. That means the electrodes. Okay, the electrodes are numbered depending upon the position, either it is left, it is right, or in center, and then and which lobe it is present. According to that, it will be named as F, Z, F, Z, F, like that. Okay, and then the electrodes are arranged at a distance of 10% or 20%. Okay, that's why this system is called as a 1020 system. Okay, and then the reference electrodes will be your forehead or your earlobe, because they are the inactive parts in your brain. Okay, so this is about the montages. Okay, and then what is a montage selector? Okay, as you are easily know that you are having 21 parts, right? So you are going to have 21 electrodes on your head, and these electrodes will be arranged in a particular fashion, so that they may come into a 16 channel, or they may come into 32 channel, or they may come into 64 channel. Okay, so this arrangement of electrodes, that means the selection of electrodes, will be done by your montage selector. Okay, like again coming back to this picture. Okay, you are having I had represent 6 electrodes here, so let us consider we are having 21 electrodes. Okay, so like 2 electrodes will be combined, and this will be called as a channel 1. These two will be combined and called as a channel 2. These two will be combined and called as a channel 3. Other two will be combined and called as a channel 4. That means electrodes will be combined, selected, and then combined, and they may be classified as a channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, like the 16 channels. Or they may be all further interconnected, and they may be classified as channels, 32 channels, or they may be given as 64 channels. Okay, that means the um, like whenever you are going to perform the EEG, okay, whenever you are having a machine and whenever you are going to perform the EEG, so the first thing that you need to do in the machine is you are going to sit in front of your machine, and there will be a subject. You will place the electrode on the that cap will be placed on the subject. Okay, and then what we need 1 minute. Okay, so where we are. Okay, so what happens in a Monte selector is like you are sitting in front of a EEG machine. Okay, you are placed the electrodes on a particular subject, and then what you need to do is, you in the machine you are going to have an option how many channels you need, either longitudinal, and then like 16 channel, 32 channel, or 64 channel. If you select the 32 channel, then internally what happens, this Monte selector, you can see here, this Monte selector is going to group some electrodes. It will group the electrodes randomly like that. It will group two and make it a channel one, channel two, like that. It will group all the 21 electrodes in such a fashion that it will give completely 32 channel output there. Okay, and then this 32 panel output will go to your amplifier, and then the remaining thing will happen. Okay, so यहाँ तक समझ में आया आज का?
हाँ सर आया।
Okay, so आपको सिर्फ आज ब्लॉक डायग्राम में क्या एक्सप्लेन किया हूँ. First of all, the electrodes, or we call it as a montages, and then a montage selector. Okay, so electrodes will be 21, and these 21 electrodes will be grouped. Okay, these 21 electrodes will be placed as a fashion of 10-20. That means 10-10%. At the 10-10%, the electrode will be placed, and 20-20% the electrode will be placed. That's why it is called as a 10-20 system. Okay, and then the next thing that you need to know here is, what how the numbering has been done. Okay, all the central electrodes will be numbered with Z, and that will be PZ, CZ, OZ, depending upon on which lobe it is. Okay, and then the left side will be numbered as 1 3, like F1, F3, P1, P3, O1, O3. 1 3 will be odd numbering, and then depending upon on which lobe it is present, it will be numbered. And the right side will be 2 4 2 4, like that, and depending upon which lobe it is, it will be numbered. Okay, and then coming on to the montage selector, what happens, like if you are selecting a 60 channel event machine, then the montage selector will choose the electrodes in such a way that it will give the 16 channel output to you. And if you are selecting 32 channel in your machine, then the montage selector will select the electrodes randomly, and it will give 32 channel output. If you are selecting 64, it will select the channel that it will give 64 channel output. So like this, it is going to select the channels. Okay, so and then after that, the electrodes will capture the signal, and then the montage selector will divide them into channels depending upon you. Like mostly 32 channels will be preferred. So after picking the signal from the electrodes, this will be divided into 32 channels, and then the signal will be given to the amplifier part. And what happens in the amplifier part, we will see it in the next class. Okay, so यहाँ तक समझ में आया आपको?
आया सर। यस सर।
Okay, so what happens majorly in the EEG? Okay, if you are doing the EEG, the electrodes that we are going to use are surface electrodes. Okay, so surface electrodes will be like disc type, which will be made by silver or silver chloride. Okay, and this will be disc electrodes. And whenever you are going to place the electrodes on the scalp, whenever you are going to place the cap on the head, the first thing that you need to do is you need to apply some gel, which is called as an ECG gel. That gel should be applied, and then the cap will be placed on that. Because if you are applying the gel, then it will have perfect impedance matching. Then only the silver electrodes, which are the surface electrodes which are made with the silver, will capture the signal from the scalp. Okay, and majority of time, if the person is having a bald head, then you are going to get very good EEG signal if he is having a bald head. Okay, for the cap type EEG, if a bald head person is there, then it will be very good for taking the EEG. Okay, and if you are having the head, then take the electrode separately, measure the measure the head into 10-20, 10-20, and then place the electrodes exactly there. First place the gel, and then stick the electrode there. So it will be somewhat difficult for having the EEG for the person who is having the head. It is very easy for the person who is having a bald head there. Okay, so just if you are if any person is having bald head, just you apply the gel on his head, and then you will place the cap on his head. That's it, and then you will select the channel, and you will get the signal on your computer screen. Okay, but if you are having the head, then you need to, the cap will not give the accurate signal. What you need to do, you need to take electrode separately. You will divide the head into 10-20%, and then you will apply the gel in between the hair, and then you will carefully place the electrode there. Then only you are going to get the accurate reading at that time. Okay, so यहाँ तक बहुत है, ठीक है.